So I just started the recording, and would you rather go from your later life to your early life, or
Well,
your
the
early
early
life to
life
your later
was
life?
for everybody. Times were tough.
Wait, I haven't even asked you a question yet. Do you want to go from life today to the past, or the past to today? Or should I pick?
It's up to you.
Okay.
You can jump all over. I don't care.
Oh, great. So, I'll start with a hard one. What do you want your legacy to be? When people say Robert Schilling, what do you want people to talk about?
Really nothing. Just that I believe I was a decent individual. Raised a good family. I was fortunate that all my kids were good. They all grown up, have families of their own. They still get together. They like one another. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Nothing special for a legacy of it. We did, or I did, what everybody was doing at the time that I was growing up. We came up during the Depression. Times were tough, but we didn't know any better. I think that who had it the toughest were our parents, because there were many times when I know my mother was wondering what she going to have to make for us to eat. But we survived all of that like other people did. And then just as we're coming out of the Depression and jobs were becoming available, but mostly because war was just around the corner, was a big reason that the economy was picking up, was the fact that for those, not only our parents, but those that were just older than me and my brothers. They went through the Depression, and now the war came. Now they went before they could really find out what better living was like. Now they were in the service fighting for their lives.
Yeah, so before we get into your brothers, what is the most important thing you learned from your father and your mother?
I don't know. I think just treat people right. Be honest. Don't steal. Get along with people. I can't say any one thing. It's just all the good things in general that a person should be doing is what our parents taught us.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I want to know more about your parents because I know a decent amount about you, but where are your parents from and what were your parents like?
Well, my dad came from Poland.
Do you know where in Poland?
No, I don't.
Okay.
He was just 3 years old.
Wow.
I think they came. I would have to say, use the word indentured. Would probably cover how my grandma and grandpa were able to come over here. It's like they signed. I don't. Can't say for sure, but from what I just hear from talk, that it's almost like you signed a contract. Your fare was paid for you to come over here. Just passageway on an old boat. And after you got here, I know that they were someplace in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
And my grandpa had to work, I believe it was a minimum of 1 year in the mine to pay for that passageway.
Oh, okay.
All right? And then they had other relatives that had come here earlier, evidently that were located here in Milwaukee. And because of that, that's where they came then. As soon as he worked off his obligation, somehow they made it here to Milwaukee.
I wonder if their family members here said, "We have a bed for you to stay in. Come stay with us."
Well,
Or if
it
was
had
more
to be something
complicated.
like that up until the time they could do something. Well, anyhow, I know my grandpa worked for the railroad, and they had a home on Mitchell Street, somewhere around 19th, 18th, 19th, something like that in Mitchell, right behind, trying to think of the name of the church. That's there on Mitchell Street.
Is that Saint Stanislaus?
Huh?
Is that Saint Stans?
No.
No.
No, it wasn't St. Stan's.
It's not the Basilica. That wouldn't have
No,
existed
no, that's where we lived.
yet.
But it'll come to me.
Sure.
Well, anyhow, my dad, I know, went in the Army.
Do you remember which branch of the Army?
He was in the artillery.
Ah.
And my Aunt Clara, that's my dad's second oldest sister. She met my Uncle Peter. He was from the Rapids, Stevens Point area. He farmed, but he was into what you would call modern farming. And he came here to Milwaukee to attend some classes and met my Aunt Clara. Well, anyhow, eventually they got married. And my Aunt Clara and him, they rented a farm just out of Wisconsin Rapids. And my grandma and grandpa, when they were in Poland, had farmed. Well, either my Aunt Clara talked them into it, or that's what they wanted to do. They traded their home here in Milwaukee for a farm up near Wisconsin Rapids.
That's the dream. I want to do that.
Now, and they had a dairy farm. So, for the time I was little, shortly after I was born is when that happened.
Okay.
So from the time I was little, if we go up to visit and stuff, I'd spend time up at the farm. I used to spend my summers up there all the time.
Aww. Do you have any favorite memories from spending time at the farm? Did you like milking the cows or just being
Oh,
away from
sure.
the city,
Well,
or
then
what?
as we were getting older, we would help. Sure, I milked. We hand milked the cows.
But what's your favorite memory of being at the farm?
Oh, I don't know, just being there. And with my Uncle Eugene, he was my dad's youngest brother, but he was only 4 years older than me.
Oh, yeah.
So he was more like a friend or cousin then. We used to look forward to going up there and spend the summers. And as we were getting older, we helped out. I worked in the fields, milk cows, got up in the morning, milk cows in the evening, helped make hay, rake hay in the fields, helped when threshing time came, just before we were coming back for the summer was over and we were going to go to school, thrash the oats. Used to go to the free show in a little town of Vesper on a Friday evening.
Was that a movie or a theater performance?
No,
or
it was just a open little park. Maybe covered here this area from to the next block to that house and down around a square like that, right?
Oh, so like maybe 2 city lots?
It was a tiny little park.
Okay.
And on Friday nights they would have the free show. And that gave the farmers a chance to come in, bring their kids in. And basically what they showed was a cowboy movie, a bunch of shorts, cartoons, that sort of stuff for a couple hours.
So that must have been, what, in like the 1930s probably?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Used to look forward to that. And I went up there for my summers until I was 16 years old. And then, now, my brother Richie and I would stay up there. My brother Pippi and Doodle, who were younger, they would come home. Now they were taking our place. Now we wanted to earn some money. So we didn't go up there then for the summer. Found a job, went to work here in the factory.
Okay, so was that when you were still 16 or probably when you were 18?
No, when I was 16, you had to be 16 to go work in a factory.
Yeah.
All right? The war was on. I worked one summer at Alice Chalmers in their #1 foundry for the whole summer. One summer before that, I worked, before I quit the guy, putting roofing and siding on houses. But he never paid me.
So then when you weren't working, what did you do in your free time? Or were you just always
You
working?
didn't have no free time.
No free
What do you
time.
mean? Well, we went to school.
Okay, so it was school and work and sleep? That was it?
Well, you didn't know, just when you went to school didn't mean that you were working. You couldn't go to school and have a full-time job,
No.
but you tried to get part-time jobs. Now, when I went to school later during my junior and senior year, we were always active at Grant Street Social Center. That's where we went to grade school, and we lived right a block away. And that was the centerpiece for activity for adults and school-age kids.
So what activities? Like
Well,
sports or crafts
well,
or what?
If you were just young and wanted to go and do something, you could go there and learn how to shoot pool. You could learn how to play cards. You could learn how to play chess. You could learn how to play ping pong. They had Saturday or Friday night dances there. They had, and for adults, they had that was called the part of the city recreation department.
Oh, okay.
But using that building. And so for that whole area, there was activity going on for not only kids but for adults. Women wanted to learn how to sew. they could come there and they had the sewing machines and there'd be an instructor there. They wanted to learn how to do this or do that. They could come there. So they were doing that on the second floor level, on the down first floor, and in the basement level, other activities were going on. Well organized, and that was all part of the City of Milwaukee Recreation Department. Activities that had something to do instead of vandalism.
Yeah, so you're talking about the rec center and those activities. Did
right.
you also have to go to church too?
Huh?
Was going to church part of your weekly routine?
Yeah, we went to church. Went to church on Sundays, and twice during the week you went until you were old enough to be confirmed. You went to confirmation classes like Sunday school. But that was just part of your regular routine.
Do you remember which church you grew up in, or is it just the one on Mitchell Street you were talking about?
No. I didn't go to the church on Mitchell Street.
Okay.
We grew up, and my dad was Catholic, my mother wasn't. But we were brought up like Lutheran. And we went to Layton Park Lutheran Church. That's where we were confirmed. Later on, as we got older and we didn't go to church, when I got married with Auntie Jeanne was Catholic. So I switched to, although I wasn't going to church anymore really, I switched to Catholic.
So was religion just part of your life?
And there was very little difference. I didn't really have to learn anything really different from when I was Lutheran. And I went to church on my grandma went to church all the time.
Yeah, she did.
I would go on weekends and at different occasions. And I went when I became the Cub Master. But I was never a really, what you would call, religious person.
That's what I was about to ask. So did you go to church because that's what you had to do, or did you go because you really truly believed in God? That's a big question.
I can't answer that.
Okay. So instead
Because I was not what you call a holy roller. And at the same time, I didn't believe. Even though I converted to Catholicism, I did not believe, and I still don't. Like, I can go and, they're dead now. But I was really surprised. Here a guy that I became friends with had a good education. Until he retired, he had his own realty business. We're golfing, and I don't know how. We never talked religion. I never asked anybody when they were a friend of mine or not. I never asked anybody, what religion are you? That had any bearing on whether or not I'd become friends with an individual.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know, I got into a discussion. And he mentioned something about as old as he was now. I said, you gotta be out of your mind. I said, you mean to say you're this old? He was just a couple of years younger than me. I said, and through the years, you were brought up to believe that if you weren't Catholic, you couldn't go to heaven? And you still believe that bullshit? I said, there's something wrong with you.
Oh, yeah, that's
Told him right out. Well, later on, he said he wasn't starting to believe that anymore. I said, how could you even believe that?
I could make a very long tangent out of that. So,
I said, I never, those things I never believed,
yeah.
all right, to begin with. I never believed, and so the Pope is the head of the Catholic Church. To say he's infallible, I say no. You couldn't give me to believe that. Nobody's infallible.
Yeah.
There's a person in this world that's infallible. So don't try to make me believe that. But that didn't make me, say, a poor Catholic because of that.
Yeah.
I still, kids went to Catholic school, they got a decent education, they went to Catholic church like they were supposed to. I had no, what would you say, animosity toward that. Would you say, was I a good Catholic? You'd have to make up your own mind to that.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything crooked, wrong. I didn't go around saying I don't believe the Pope is infallible. Those were good people. Mm-hmm. We never talked, even though those were people that went to church every day. And they were good friends. We never talked religion.
So because you're not super invested in religion and like those sorts of things, but you respect those types of people, what are your strongest held beliefs?
Like, I don't have any beliefs like
so,
that.
Do you
I just believe that I don't care who you are, what you do for a living, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, as long as you're a good person. And I always used to judge if I was meeting somebody maybe for the first time. I didn't make friends real easy, to what you would call lasting friends. I maybe never looked forward to things like that. If I met you for the first time and maybe we were going to meet more often because you were friends with friends of mine or something, and now we're doing things together, determining whether I was going to be considered just an acquaintance or more of a friend was by the way you conducted yourself. I never believed in anybody that didn't like people because of their religion, because of their nationality or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I judge everybody by how they acted and conducted themselves as an individual.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
I also, if we met and we were at the bar, if I had a $5 bill and I wanted to go to the bathroom, I didn't put it in my pocket. If I couldn't leave it here with change, and either go and talk to somebody for 10 minutes or whatever and come back and my money or some of my change wasn't there. If it wasn't, you were no friend of mine and you never would be.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's basically how I judge friendship.
Mm-hmm. So then, if we're already talking about friends, who is your best friend? I know you had your wife and your kids and your siblings. Who is your best friend? Well,
when you're growing up and you got best friends, you got all kinds of good friends, right? Mm-hmm. And maybe for some reason you pick one or two out that for some reason you're closer together than what the rest of the group, right? That also varies through the years. Things cause you to split up. Maybe somebody moves.
Yeah.
You go away to school, you go away in the service, get hurt, you die, whatever.
Okay, so then who was your best friend before the war? Do you remember?
Yeah, well, one was Eddie Kalis. Then I became friends with some of my brother's friends, but we hung around together. So had a lot of good friends.
You're a pretty friendly guy. I believe it.
No, and we did stuff for one another as we were growing up. Say, you're living at home, even as we were getting older. You're living at home. Your parents owned a house. The house needs painting. Get your friends together on a weekend and paint the house.
Nice.
Nobody asked for anything. Got there early in the morning. By the time the day was over, most of the house was painted. We come back to, say, on a Saturday and a Sunday, finish up on a Sunday. Come back 2 weeks later and put the second coat on. The house was painted. All the cost was for them to buy the paint.
Yeah.
We helped one another. They needed the sidewalk repaired, replaced. We poured the concrete.
You didn't call the city for that? You just did it?
Well, the city didn't own your sidewalk.
Oh.
Like even in your backyard or your driveway.
Oh, not like the sidewalk that everyone walks on. Like your sidewalks near your house.
No.
Oh.
Well, even that. The city was responsible for that sidewalk.
Yeah. Okay, so
So
then,
we worked with we helped one another.
yeah.
Someone needed a roof put on their house. We put, all they did was buy the shingles.
There you go. So then going on from childhood friends, who are some of your friends in your 20s and your 30s? And what are your best memories with those friends? Or your favorite memories?
Well, the 20s and 30s are a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right, in the 20s, I'm in the service. So I come home from the service, got the same friends I had before I went in the service. We get back together again. Only now some are getting married. You don't see them as often as anymore. And while you're single, you can do stuff on weekends that they can't do because they're married or they're having a family.
Yeah.
I played a lot of baseball on weekends. Played a lot of golf. Kept busy that way. We bowled. We did a lot of bowling.
Okay. What was your favorite sport to play with your friends? Before, either when they had free time or before they got married with kids?
Well, I liked all kinds of sports. My favorite of all always was to play was baseball, but we played basketball during basketball season, baseball. Football, we'd play tag football until I went to high school and then started played football in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was high school sports. Then you get separated again when you go to different high schools.
Yeah.
All right. We always stayed together in the evening. Even though we went to different schools. We always remained friends. Even though now we made new friends at the high school we were going to. When I went to high school, I'm sure Milwaukee school system is so set up that way. They have districts. All right? And at the time, I'm not currently abreast of all the new rules and regulations of their sports system, but to be eligible to play sports at the school that you went to, you had to reside in that district. If you went to a school out of the district, then you had to get permission to do so. You weren't eligible for playing sports. So, where I went to Grant Street School, Pulaski High School, which is that's that big high school.
Yeah, that's like 25th and
Right.
whatever it is.
All right. When that school was built, I was in grade school. And the school wasn't complete yet. But when they opened it up, they had temporary barracks. And some went to school and graduated before the school was ever opened from the barracks. But when I was in grade school and ready to go into junior high school, our principal arranged to take our graduating class on a tour of the high school. It opened up in 1938. And we walked in that big building and we were awed at how big that building was, and so you get lost in there.
Yeah.
All right, now, where I grew up and went to grade school, we went to junior high school from 7th to 9th grade. Then from 9th grade we went to high school. Catholic schools went to 8th grade. For those who weren't going on to Catholic high school, they went to high school starting in 9th grade. So they spent a full 4 years at the high school. They were ahead of the rest of us by a year as far as being out for and getting acclimated to their sports program.
Okay.
Because now they were already had a year in that school. We're starting there basically our sophomore year. They already got a year under their belt. They know what the school is, everything is all about, right? But anyhow, as I was starting to tell you, the programs were set up that if you lived in that district, you were eligible, and you maintained your eligibility what's the right word? With your classroom.
Oh,
with
you
your grades.
kept your grades up?
That you kept your grades up.
Yeah.
If you kept your grades up and you lived in that district, you were eligible to compete in sports for that school. If you didn't do either of the one, you could not compete in any sports.
So which sports teams were you on at your high school?
So
Like wrestling?
I wanted to, everybody that I went to junior high school with, that I had gone through grade school with, and now went on to junior high school, they were all in Pulaski's district. We lived at the time on 31st Street, between Grant and Beecher. And we lived on the west side of the street. The dividing line was the east side.
No.
If you lived on the east side of the street, you were in Pulaski's district. If you lived on the west side of the street, you were in South Division's district. Now, South Division was the second oldest school in Milwaukee. The oldest Milwaukee public school was Riverside or East Side Division.
Yeah, I went to college right near Riverside. One of my first memories is in the lobby of Riverside High
Right.
School.
All right, that was the oldest high school in Milwaukee, public high school,
Yeah.
and then South Division. Now, if you ever see the dome, the big blue dome at Bloomel's Nursery,
Yeah.
that dome was on top of our high school.
Oh yeah.
And when they built the new high school and it was demolished, they saved the dome. And the dome sat in the yard by the guy who bought it, who sold, what would you say, secondhand stuff. Well, sat there for a few years, and Bloomel's wife graduated from South Division. And as the business flourished, she talked him into buying the dome. And they moved the dome and sat in their yard for a couple of years by the nursery. And when they got enough business and they remodeled their nursery itself, they put that on top of their nursery.
Oh yeah.
That's why the dome is there.
Nice.
Well, anyhow, I wanted to compete in sports. I had permission to go to Pulaski, but I could not compete in sports there. And I chose not to do that. I said, I'm going to South Division. I want to compete in sports. Now, when I went to South Division, I got there and I didn't know anybody in the whole high school. And the bad part of it was I had spent that summer, that was the last summer I spent on the farm. And just before we were coming home, we always came home the week that school was going to start. I came down with a real bad cold. And I missed a week and a half. Not only was I new in the school, I missed a week and a half of school.
Oh no.
So when I got there, and they fit me into the different classes, right? I didn't know anybody in those classrooms. So it took a while to adjust. But it was fortunate. I had some good teachers. I met some good students there that became friends with
Nice.
right away. Made the adjustment for me easy. I went out for sports. I wrestled and made all state. I was first string on the football team my senior year.
Were you a starter too, or just first string?
No, I was starter. I played both ways. I played running back on offense, and I played cornerback on defense. I returned punts. I returned kickoffs. I played the whole game. We had a good team. My junior year, we won the city championship.
Was that at your high school or was that at County Stadium?
No, at the high school.
Oh, good for you.
So I really enjoyed high school. I was really glad that I made the decision. That's why I wanted to go to school to play sports. I met good friends, had good teachers. I have to say that I enjoyed all my time at high school.
So I have two more questions about high school that are kind of related. So did you date when you were a teenager, and what was your most memorable date if you did?
Not really. Not that you didn't date, but I'm not sure. Yeah, in my senior year, I went at times with a girl. I, for some reason, ended up, we did not have a graduating president, vice president, so forth. What we had was a graduating class commission made up of 4 individuals that were nominated and then up for election. And for some reason, I was nominated to be one of the 4. I got the most number of votes. Ended up being the president of the graduating class commission. I gave that up. 3 of us were male. The 4th member elected. Come on, you can't forget her name.
Is that who you were going out with, or just
No,
someone on the commission?
no. Audrey Teskey was her name. Very intelligent, good student, had all honors. I talked to the other 2 guys, and I says, I'm giving up the chairmanship I want you to agree with it, and let's make Audrey president.
Wow.
So they did. Now, I knew Audrey because I was in one class with her, but also I got to know her very vaguely because she just happened to live next door to a cousin of mine,
Oh.
second cousin of mine,
Mm-hmm.
that I hardly ever saw. But every once in a while, we would go and visit, and she lived next door. She was a very nice individual, very intelligent. That's why she got elected, because even though she wasn't a cheerleader or anything like that, everybody recognized who she was.
Nice.
I just had a good time in high school.
So then, the person you were going out with your senior year, was she memorable? Was she just some girl? Like, who was this person?
I liked her.
I hope so.
In fact, I went out with her afterwards, after high school and even after the service, after I got out of the service.
So what was the best date you went on with her? Do you remember?
No, not. I have no memorable date.
Okay. Before we get to Grandma Jeanne, are there any other people you went out with that you have good memories with?
Well, sure, but I'm not going to tell you who they were
That's fair.
or why.
Keep your secrets.
I'll tell you how I met Auntie Jeanne.
Yes, that was my next question. How did you meet your spouse?
All right, it was a Saturday night. Nice summer evening. It was May. It was the 8th of May, 1953. And a good friend of mine, who later turned out to be a very good friend of mine, Bobby Myshak, was getting married. He was a friend of Uncle Pepe's and my two brothers, Doodle and Pepe. And through them, I got to know him. He was a good athlete. He was maybe 3 years or so younger than me. I come out of the service, he was still a senior in high school. He took an apprenticeship to become a tool and die maker. And he was just completing that apprenticeship. Maybe had a year to go on it when he was getting married. I didn't know at the time, but the girl that he was married turned out to be Jeannie's first cousin.
Oh, okay.
But I didn't know that. And I didn't know Jeannie or any of them. It just so happened I was invited to the wedding, but I really had no intentions of going. I really didn't know anybody except Bobby. I knew his brother and sister just to know who they were. And I was all dressed up, deciding, do I really want to go anywhere? And I said, oh, the hell with it. I think I'll stop over at his wedding. It was at Federation Hall on Lincoln Avenue. And I had a car. I drove over there and parked.
Do you remember what kind of car it was?
Yeah, I had a 51 Plymouth.
Wow.
And there were two entrances. This is Lincoln Avenue, coming this way, right?
Sure.
And this is, or let's say this is Lincoln Avenue going this way, and this is, that was either 11th or 13th Street,
Okay.
going this way. And this is right on the corner here.
So it's
There's-
at the intersection.
All right, right. And it's a square building like this, right? And there's two entrances. There's a front entrance right here off of Lincoln Avenue. Now, if you walk in here, you're walking into their bar. They had a big bar area, and their bar ran all the way down and then a little this way. And down inside here, you could go open the door and walk into their big hall where they had the wedding.
Oh.
Or you could enter from 13th Street here, from the side. There was an entranceway, and then you walk directly into the hall. Well, I chose, for some reason, to walk in off of Lincoln Avenue into the bar. So I walk into the bar, and then if you walked all the way down the length of the bar before it went this way, you could go through the doorway here into the hall where the reception was.
Oh, okay. So it's like an L-shaped bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
With this being the long part.
Yep.
So when I walk in from maybe 2/3 of that bar here was empty, this was all filled, and this corner was filled. And it looked like that was one whole great big group. Just from the wedding, coming to sit out and also have a drink at the bar instead of in the hall and talking. Well, Jeannie was sitting right on the end here.
In the corner?
No, not in the corner, as you're going down to the corner.
Okay.
All right? And all this was filled up with all guys and everything. There wasn't another woman there except her sitting on the corner. Well, I walked in. She's all dressed up. And I looked at her, and the seat was open this way. I sat next to her. I didn't go into the hall.
Do you remember what she was wearing? Like, was it a long dress or a short dress?
No, it was a wedding dress. No, but she wasn't part of the wedding party.
Okay.
But just the dress.
Sure.
So anyhow, I sat down there and I ordered a whiskey and sweet. And it didn't take me long to realize this whole group is family of some kind.
Oh.
Her dad was there, her brothers were there, her aunts, her uncles were there, and they just all came out to shoot the shit and have a drink by themselves.
And they were probably like, who's this guy walking up?
And so, didn't take me long to realize that. And then, I wasn't really very forward in talking to women right away, first time I ever saw them. But I asked her, I said, can I buy you a drink?
That's pretty smooth.
All right.
Yeah.
I bought her a drink. Never did get into the wedding. Sat there all night with her. And the wedding ended. And then they always play till midnight. And sometimes what we would do, if I was with a group of friends, and we always had a good time, I always said if you went to a wedding and didn't have a good time, it was your own fault.
Yep.
We'd pass the hat, go and talk to the band leader, and say, hey, we're going to play another hour, we'll pass the hat. And most of the time, they'd say yes.
Nice.
Later on, no. Then the prices on everything went up, and they weren't about to play for what you were gathering for passing the hat.
Yeah, you need a bigger hat.
Yeah. So anyhow, when we left there, I said, would you like to go for a bite to eat? Go for steak and eggs. And just down the block on Lincoln Avenue was a little restaurant, we called it a grill, that served the best steak and eggs. And a lot of times, late at night on a weekend, If we were out somewhere, we would go to our special because they stayed open till like 3:30 in the morning.
Wow.
And we would get steak and eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we went.
So,
But by the time we got out of there and everything and I got her home, she was going to get out of the car. I got out to open the door to take her out, walk her up the steps. The door was locked, so she had a rap on the window,
oh,
and her dad came to open the door. And he was getting up because now it was getting close to 5 o'clock. And he was going to open up the church because he was a sexton there. Are you bringing my daughter home this hour in the morning? You do that again, I'll throw you down the steps.
oh.
So anyhow, said goodnight to her, and I said, see you tomorrow. So I went over to her house the next day at 1 o'clock.
That's bold.
Yeah, well, then I walk in the house and her whole house is filled with family. Everybody used to come there on Sundays anyhow.
So how old were you at that point? 25, 26? Maybe?
26,
Okay.
because next year we got married.
So then she was 24? How old
No,
was she?
Jeannie was 22.
Okay.
I was little more than 3.5 years older than Jeannie.
Ah, okay. So then, I know you met her at the wedding, but what was the thing that attracted you to her the most? Was it just because she was there, or because she
How
was
am I
pretty,
going
or
to tell
what?
you? Well, why do you get attracted to an individual? I can't pick out one good thing. She was good looking.
And I guess good at holding a
And-
conversation.
Just by sitting next to her, got the feeling that she was a good person.
Aw.
Easy to talk to, started a conversation, and she was willing to talk with me.
So then when you went over the next day and all of her family was there, were you surprised, or was it just like, okay, it's time
Well,
to
yeah,
meet
I didn't
family?
expect that.
Were they excited to see you, or were they
Well,
ready
I
to throw
couldn't
you
tell
down
you.
the
No,
stairs?
no. Why would they be excited to see me?
I don't know.
They were all friendly enough. They came there every Sunday. Everybody came there and played cards and drank beer.
Ah. No wonder she liked playing cards so much.
Well, she was an excellent card player.
Yeah. So then after that, do you remember where you went on your first official date, or was it just history after that?
No, I don't know where we went that night. Didn't go on any special date.
Okay.
And then I was playing ball. I was playing ball a couple nights a week. She was working at Allen Bradley,
Oh, I forgot about that.
and I was playing ball a couple nights a week, and I was working at the brewery at the time, at Schlitz, at their new bottle house that I told you about.
Mm-hmm.
And I would get done from work, and they used to stop every day and have 2 beers after work, her and her girlfriends. Well, not only them, but a whole bunch of employees from Allen Bradley would go right across the street by Mary's Tavern. So I said, all right, I'll pick you up there. And I could get there, park the car and walk in, have the time for 1 beer. And then we'd leave, and I'd take her home,
Aw.
drop her off. And maybe that night I'm playing ball. She'd go to the ball game. I just leave the house earlier and pick her up and take her to the ball game. Then she met all of my friends.
Nice. Okay. We're almost at the hour mark, so do you want any more coffee or a bathroom break or anything? Okay, well, I'm gonna pause. All right, we're back. So,
And you ask me, I'll tell you.
sure.
Meeting Jeannie. Was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
She got along with everybody. I remember when I took her over, was living with my folks on 27th Street, and we were just going to start removing wallpaper from the living room and dining room. And I said, I'm be busy all day working at the house. So she said, pick me up, I'll come over.
Aww.
So then she met my mother, my Aunt Lily, my brothers. Got along with everybody. Pitched right in, helped remove the wallpaper. She could do everything.
Wow.
She could knit, she could sew, she could darn, she could cook. Even after we got married, it would be nothing to get company unexpectedly. Our brother Leonard, the priest, when he was stationed in Chicago, and he was pastor at St. Bronislaus, he would come in for the day with parishioners that were friends of his.
Mm-hmm.
They'd drive him in, and then they'd spend the day. They were like strangers the first time we met them. They stayed for the day. They come in unexpectedly. She could scrape up a meal, a good meal, sit and play cards with him for the whole day, make a meal like nothing.
Wow.
She could handle all the kids as we had them. If they got sick, she could do everything.
So, what was it like when you found out you were going to have your first baby? Were you excited? Were you scared? Were you shocked? What was it like?
I can't tell you. Yeah. Well, she was pregnant right away. She worked at Allen Bradley. So when you're getting married and you talk about you don't have a whole lot of money, we're both working, we're going to try and save some money. Well, that went down the drain. Not like we planned, or we're planning to do.
So
she could handle, and then, we had a big family, 9 kids. Got a bunch of them in diapers at the same time. She could handle all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Never got flustered or...
Did you get flustered?
No.
So then, if no one was flustered, I would love to hear more about the day that Uncle Johnny was born, your first child. Was it scary, or was it just like, okay, this is happening now?
No, it just happened that I passed out when he was born.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't know why. Maybe all excited. Jeannie was having a hard time in labor. Screaming, hollering. And maybe I got a little excited. I'm going to get help. The nurses, she says, get the nurse in here. The nurse don't want to listen to me.
Yeah.
We just saw her. Jeannie's trying to tell him telling me she's going to have that baby. Regardless of what the nurses said, she needs somebody in there. I'm going to run around and get one. They don't want to come in.
Was that at your house or at the
I
hospital?
was in the
what?
hospital.
Okay. Do you remember which hospital?
Yeah. She was at because that hospital isn't there anymore. Geez, why can't I think of the name of it? Johnny and Mary Lou were born at that hospital. Went to St. Deaconess Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
It was right on the corner of Wisconsin Avenue. And I'm trying to think what other street. And the doctor that she had at that time for her and Mary Lou. And then she changed doctors. I don't know why. Or he was going to retire or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the other kids, we had a different doctor.
Was it still at the same hospital or just different doctors?
No, a different hospital too.
Okay.
Then Deaconess, the doctor wasn't at Deaconess Hospital. The next doctor was at Mount Sinai.
Oh, that's the one I used to work at. Yeah, I know it. Yep.
All those hospitals changed.
Yeah. So then, how did you and Jeannie decide on your children's names? How did you pick?
We just looked in a book and we talked about it.
There you go. There weren't specific Catholic names that she wanted. It was just in the book.
No, we didn't go by the Catholic or Lutheran name or anything. We're going to name them what we wanted to name them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so then what are your favorite memories with your... The question is, what are your favorite memories with your children? But you have so many children that I don't know how to narrow that down.
No, I don't even know how to answer that.
Okay, so what are your favorite memories with the boys? And when they were children?
Well, I don't know. Watching them grow up. Watching them... The achievements that they made, say in sports, the different sports that they were participating in.
Mm-hmm.
I went to all their events. If they were involved in anything special in school, like maybe a school play or something like that, went to that. One thing that stands out in my mind always was of Robbie. When he was in 8th grade, ready to graduate from St. Joseph's School. And they had a priest there at that time. He was there for the second year that he was there. Trying to think of his name. Younger priest. Mary Jo, do you remember his name? The one, you probably don't.
No. My mom might, but I have no idea.
She would, yeah.
Yeah.
They would right away. He was theatrical. Anyhow, it was Christmas time. And he set up a Christmas program for like the birth of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
or the crucifixion of Christ. Maybe it was Easter time. I forget.
So it was some big holiday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, Robbie was tall and slim at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the tallest in his class. And he picked Robbie to be Jesus. And they had Robbie nailed to the cross.
How did they nail him up
I
there?
don't know how they did that. But anyhow, I don't know if you've ever been in St. Joseph's.
Yeah, I went in for Doors Open Milwaukee, so I've been in there quite a few times.
Ever been in the upstairs in the big? They got an upper and lower. Now it's different than it used to be. It was remodeled, but there's an upper and a lower.
Yeah, I've been in the giant sanctuary with all the stained glass and in the
All
lower
right.
chapel.
That's their upper.
Okay.
And the altar was different there now. Now they had a big altar coming all the way across. And on the side, they still got the pulpits.
Mm-hmm.
but the priests don't preach from there anymore. When the priest was going to preach his homily, he would go up in the pulpit and preach from the pulpit.
Oh.
But you got a side altar to the right. That's where they had the baptisms, where all our kids were baptized. But in the main altar, and then in the back of the back altar, I forget what they call that. That's the sacristy.
I don't know.
And then up above, they got all the ornamentation and everything. Anyhow, you go up the steps before you get back by the big back altar. And there they had the big cross. And they had them nailed to the cross. And like Jesus was, his head was hanging. When it came to that part of the play, and they opened up the curtains, he looked just like Jesus.
With the long hair, too?
Everything, right, just like him. Couldn't believe it. Everybody remarked. And they never thought Robbie would be playing Jesus.
So how'd they get him down? What happened?
I don't know how they all did that.
No, but when the play was over, how did he get down?
I don't know. When it all ended and everybody walked, then they pulled the curtain.
So when he came back after the play was over to say hi to you and the rest of his
Well,
family...
he didn't. We didn't see him till he came home.
Oh, so he wasn't in costume anymore or anything. He
No,
just came home.
yeah.
I would have paid money to see him in that
But
costume.
that I'll always remember.
Yeah.
But the kids were always, if they were involved in something, we wanted to see it.
So you were talking about being a Cub Master or a Troop
Oh
Master?
yeah, and that's one of the best years we ever spent. 3 years I was Cub Master. I never ever had anything to do with Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts. I didn't know shit about them. I was involved basically at the church because I also was captain of their dartball team.
What? Dartball?
They had a Catholic blue and gold dartball team around the whole city. And if your parish was big enough, you had enough members, you could have a team in the blue league and a team in the gold league. The blue league, although you played against one another, your blue league was considered the major league.
Okay.
All right. When I got married, Jeannie's dad was playing dartball. Now I'm talking a different dartball than maybe you're thinking of.
I don't even know what dartball is.
Dartball is you throw underhand. You got a great big stand, and you're throwing from about here to the fireplace.
Oh.
All right, maybe a little longer.
What, so like 20 feet?
And it's got a baseball. It's like a baseball diamond. Home plate, first base, second base, third base, home plate, two base single, and you throw darts underhand. Just like baseball. 3 strikes and you're out. If you get a hit, you get on base.
Okay.
If you get 4 balls, you get a walk. Well, anyhow, that was a great big thing. Not only in the Catholic Blue and Gold League, but around the state and industrial, around the country it was. And they had industrial leagues. Alan Bradley was, year after year, was winning the state industrial league tournament. Anyhow, they had won the blue and gold championship 2 consecutive years. When I got married, and I was familiar with dartball because when we lived on 31st Street for a couple of years, where my dad would go and hang around at the tavern. Them guys got a dart ball, and they used our basement, and they used to come there once on a Wednesday night and shoot darts. Well, I would go downstairs. Well, first of all, that dartboard stayed in our basement
Yeah.
and on the board. And they left their darts there. And I used to go down and shoot during the week
All right.
until I got really good at it. And then they would come on Wednesday to play. They'd have a pony of beer. They'd get 2 teams together and they'd play. And they were always short, somebody. And I'd conveniently be there, and they'd ask me to play, so I would shoot. And I was better than any of them.
Of course.
Well, then, when I got married, found out they got a dartball league there. And Grandpa was a good dartball shooter. And so when the season was going to start, that new season, we got married in May. The season was going to start September. I said I'd try out for the team.
Yeah.
Well, being new, not knowing anybody there, they didn't play me much to begin with. But after a while, I got to be the regular. And we won the championship again that year. And then it just happened that the guy who was captain of the team wanted to give it up. They were going to vote a new captain. Well, I'm new. I don't know any of them guys there, really. They all know one another for years. And most of them are older than me. They voted me captain. So for 3 consecutive years, they won the championship. And for the next 10 years, I was the captain. And we won 10 more straight championships. We won 13 years in a row. But not only that, we won the state championship.
Okay.
And not only that, when they built the new hall that's there now, Barron Hall, and that's where we played, the opening event in that hall was an exhibition match between us and Alan Bradley's team.
So it's private teams, right? It's like whoever sponsors you. That's
No,
where you
no,
get
it
the money?
wasn't just private. You got your own sponsors, but you played for your parish.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Gotcha.
And they used to transfer us. Every year they put us in a different division. So we're traveling all over the city. Instead of playing the south side churches, they're sending us to the north side. Everybody wants to beat our ass. And we got to do all the traveling.
Wow.
And we still beat everybody. Well, now we got Alan Bradley to be an opponent for the official opening of the hall. And that was a big event. And everybody's coming there to see us get our ass beat by Alan Bradley. Well, we beat Alan Bradley.
Of course.
2 out of 3 was, and we won the first 2 games. That was the end of it.
Wow.
They couldn't believe it. Well, that was a big deal. That's basically how I was known around the parish.
Mr. Dartball.
From being captain of the dartball team and from all the friends of the guys that played dartball with us, were church ushers and everything else. And that's how I got to be known around the area.
Well, that's so interesting to me that Grandma worked for Alan Bradley and you still beat their team. Was she rooting for you or for the Alan Bradley team?
She didn't work for Alan Bradley anymore.
Oh, okay.
No, she only worked there after Mary Lou was born. She quit.
Okay. So she was rooting for you.
Oh, certainly.
Okay, so...
Well, anyhow, then the kids, Johnny turned 8 years old. So all of him and all his friends that turned 8 years old, they're going to go into Cub Scouting. I don't know shit from Cub Scouting, and I didn't care about knowing anything about Cub Scouting. And all of a sudden, and the Cub Master that had been a Cub Master, his son was now, you were a Cub Scout from 8 to 11. And then you were out of Cub Scouting. Then you either went to as a recruit in Boy Scouting, if you wanted to continue.
Yeah.
Well, who's going to be the Cub Master?
Is it Mr. Dartball himself?
So now they picked me to be the Cub Master.
It's Mr. Dartball!
Yeah. I don't know shit about it. Now I'm talking to the ex-Cub Master, and I says, what's this all about? I says, talk to me. I says, I don't know anything about being a Cub Master. Well, the drift I get is that no wonder nobody liked to go to the meetings. First of all, the Cub Scouts of America send out a monthly, what would you call it?
A newsletter?
Almost like, it's not really a newsletter, a little booklet, right?
Okay.
And they're trying to help you out, and they set the theme of the month. So all around the United States, for the month of May, the theme of the month is whatever they determine.
Dartball!
And now you set up a program with that being the theme of the month.
Okay.
All right? Now, then you got den mothers. Depending upon how many kids you got, you split them up into groups.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a den mother and you got 6, I give you 6 kids.
Oh boy.
All right? And you work your kids. First of all, the thing is to get the kids occupied in something.
Mm-hmm.
So they're always working to get achievements.
Oh yeah, the badges, right?
So, right. So you work with them to teach them whatever it is to see if they can qualify to earn that badge.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next thing is at the Cub Scout meeting for that month, they're going to be presented with those badges, those awards. And some are going to progress faster than others. But there's got to be more than that. So you set up a program for the theme of the month. All right, the other is you got to get the parents involved. Otherwise, the parents come and bring the kids because they got to come for the meeting, when they bring them. And if you can't get them involved, they're bored. So I said, what did you do? They tell me what they did. I said, no wonder nobody cared to go to the damn meeting. I said, there's got to be more to it than this. Well, 2 things. 1, that's what I thought. Number 2, I was working for the city at the time. And I was working 3rd shift. And I was in charge of the place where I was working. So I had time.
I would have thought the opposite, but good for you.
No, I had time. I never would have been able to do it. And I could sit at night and think, working 3rd shift, what can we do? All right, now I need help. So I got 6 den mothers. We had a big group. All the den mothers were good individuals, and they all had talents of their own. I had friends that had kids. I mean, I got to know the parents. And so now I became good friends with some of these parents. And some of them were the husbands of the den mothers.
Oh, okay.
And I got them involved. They didn't want to do, but I got them involved. I got them involved in what we're going to be doing that month. Now I would draw up a program, and then I would go and, depending upon what the theme of the month was, instead of coming home from work at 8 o'clock in the morning, I went either downtown to the public library, to the main library, and pulled books on subjects. Or I went to, I don't know what they call that house anymore. And I don't know if it's still located there.
What is it?
But it was located about 38th in Wisconsin, across the bridge on Wisconsin Avenue. And Red Cross had an office building there, and they were right next door. And you could go there and get information about anything.
Oh, okay.
So I would go there and pick their brains about stuff. What books can you recommend for me? What can you tell me about this country, about these people, about this, about that? And I would compile all that stuff together. So I knew. And I'd come up with a program. And then I'd get the parents together. And I would meet with the den mothers every Monday morning at 9 o'clock at one of their houses. This Monday I'm at your house, next Monday we're all at their house at 9 o'clock. We have a cup of coffee and we talk about the theme of the month. We set up the program, I outline everything. You make the program better by adding on to it.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, all right, for one, how do we present to get the kids themselves interested in them receiving their awards? And we worked out a system where we kept active all of your awards. When we're presenting you the new one, we got all your other ones showing at the same time.
Oh, so it wasn't like everyone earns the same badge. I remember from Girl Scouts we would do something one night and we'd all get the same badge.
No,
but it was
no,
not
no,
like
no.
that for Cub
No,
Scouts.
because you might be ahead of
Oh.
your work, but you got to qualify to earn that badge, right?
Gotcha.
All right. So at one time, the theme of the month was like spring of the year, right? How are we going to present this? So first of all, then I did something. I said, beside everybody there, now we're going to open up the meeting. I just opened up the meeting with a prayer. I always looked up some individual that had something to do from the state of Wisconsin. Like, where was the first kindergarten ever in the United States?
I don't know where.
Huh?
Where? I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. Now I've slipped my mind.
Oh.
All right. And who formed that? And I'd pick out individuals that people hardly ever knew anything about, but that historically did something important. Mm-hmm. And I'd give a talk about that individual.
Cool.
They'd all look at me, where the hell do you know about him? What do you know? Well, I learned that all by going to the library and to these different people and spending a lot of time gathering all this information. Now, I'm coming up with an idea. How are we going to present the awards this month? The theme of the month has a bearing on the time of the year. It's the spring of the year. And I said, is there some way in which we can have all the kids' awards that they've already earned, like tucked down in a flower pot?
Oh.
All right? And now we're going to award them the new award. And as we're giving them that new award, how are we going to get, just like this was a plant growing, how can we get it to come up to its full length, showing every award that the kid got? Can we do something like this?
Mm-hmm.
I knew it could be done, but I didn't know how the hell to do it. I didn't have that kind of talent. But Alvy Jankowski did. So I worked with Alvy, and Alvy come up with a way that we lined up all like they had the flower pot. And we had almost like an invisible string going up above.
Ooh.
And then to each one of these awards to the top, we had a string attached. And a parent in the back would pull that string. And when they pulled that string, the plant came out of the pot with every award that the kid earned, including the new one. Those were things that I did.
Yeah.
And then I recorded all of that stuff in a book that I had.
Cool.
And for 3 years we did all that shit. Well, then every once in a while, they would have a meeting at Mitchell Park at their conservatory building there in the evening for a couple hours where the Cub Scouts, I don't know, what would you call them? These were people employed, full-time job with the Cub Scouts.
Oh, yeah, just the higher ups, the
Yeah,
execs. Yeah.
are coming there to help out, have a general meeting, see how things are going in Milwaukee and on the south side, whatever. And somehow the word got around about our organization. So a couple times they had us come and put the program on to help out these others that are stymied and they're bored. Nobody wants to come to their meetings. Why is ours so popular and the others are struggling? So what I did, instead of having the kids go, I went with the den mothers, some of the fathers, and we put on the program, a demonstration of the program that we were going to have for that month, and show them what we do at a meeting. Right from the beginning, like I open up the meeting, just like I normally would, give my talk and everything else, get the parents involved, the kids involved in the program, and what we do, why our meetings are so successful and why everybody wants to come. I had one where south of the border was the theme. So what do we do for south of the border? I come up with a bullfighting deal, right?
Did you get a bull?
Yeah, I had one of the fathers act as the bull.
Oh my god.
All right? And we gave all the kids a chance. I got it down in the basement. I got the rapier that you would use.
The sword?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't even remember where I got it anymore. But I still got it now. It's hanging in the basement.
I want to
All
see
right?
that.
Then I got one of the fathers to act as the bull. Then every kid got a chance. All right? Now, first of all, bullfighting, you got the bull, you got the toreador, you got there's all kinds of people involved. Those that get the bull aroused with the cape and all that other shit.
The red flag.
You could doing all that stuff. All right. So now I give a oral explanation of step by step what goes on at a bullfight. And now I got the parents playing these roles. All right. Then I got the kids involved with the sword. All right. That's some of the stuff I did. And also I recorded all this and I kept records of it.
Okay, did the sword have a soft tip or was it just like someone stabbing a dad?
No, it's got a little rounded tip.
Okay.
It's not the sword that they use, but it's a rapier, like if you were going to be sword fighting.
Yeah, like a fencing match.
But I use that.
Okay.
All right, that's all I could get a hold of. All right, so now we put on these demonstrations. Now they want us doing that every month. And I said, bullshit. We're not here to put on a program for the whole city of Milwaukee. this is what we do. This is how we do it. If you want to get that involved on your own, fine. If not, I don't care what you do. I got nothing to do with your group.
Oh.
Now they offer me a full-time job. They offered me a job to come and work on their staff and move to Philadelphia. I said, no, I ain't moving to Philadelphia. And I don't want to be on the staff of the Cub Scouts of America. But anyhow, the biggest mistake I made was when my 3 years were up. First of all, that's when I changed jobs.
So which job did you change to?
I left the city and went to work at Milwaukee Forge.
Oh, okay.
Only now they're starting, I'm working days. But Johnny going to be 12 years old.
Okay.
So he got a Cub Scout anymore.
So what was that, like 1960 something?
Well, he was born in 55.
Okay. So that would have been 67?
About 67, yeah.
Okay.
So anyhow, it's up. You got a new group coming in. Some of the kids, not all of them are 8 years old at the same time. So it's up to you, to your existing parents. Someone should want to take over as Cub Master or be elected to be the Cub Master. Besides, you got new parents coming in with 8-year-olds. The guy that they get, nobody wants to be the Cub Master. The guy that they get to be the Cub Master was the wrong guy. And I knew he was the wrong guy. And he lived right down the alley from us. And I thought, well, good luck, you people. So now he's crying, what do I do? What should I do? And he comes to me, and like a fool, I give him all my records.
Oh.
I talked to him to help him, and I said, here, this should be a guideline for you. But I want it back. I never got it back.
No.
He lost it somehow.
Oh.
The program went down the tube because the people lost interest in it.
Oh. See, I would love to read those.
But I said, that's stuff that I did. Now, how was I able to do that? Well, I did it as a sacrifice also to my family. I was so involved with all that shit going on. And then in the summer, we had the kids in a baseball program.
Yeah.
And it just happened we had a bunch of good athletes. And we won the baseball, but we could have entered, if they would have had a special program around the country, our team would have gone a long way. All right, now, I says, I'm going to change jobs. And everybody says, you can't change jobs. You're 39 years old, you're going to be 40 years old. It's not like today, people change jobs at that age. You don't change jobs when you're 40 years old unless you got something really good offered you.
So then why did you decide to change?
Because we had a big family and the family's getting bigger. I'm playing ball a couple nights a week. But we got to make more money. Job I had didn't pay all that much. We could make our bills and everything else, but we weren't going to ever have anything. And I said, I gotta change. I had 5 weeks vacation, 90 days of sick leave accumulated. I had a job for life if I wanted it. I was in charge of that building at night and what went on. I had taken exams. When you work for the city of Milwaukee, you work for a bureau. So I worked for a Bureau of Municipal Equipment.
Oh.
All right? Say you wanted to go into the electrical department.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different bureau. Being a different bureau, that's like being an entirely different, say, factory
Okay.
with a different ownership. I take an exam, they got an exam, and it gets posted, and I take the exam. I don't work in the electrical department, but say, usually number one person doesn't necessarily get the job just because you place number one in the exam.
Mm-hmm.
Usually 1, 2, or 3. Once in a while it's beyond number 3, but number 3 could get it instead of number 1 for a number of reasons.
Okay.
One, maybe number 3 has got a hell of a lot more experience in that particular phase that job requires.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now I take the exam, and for some reason I place 1, 2, or 3. But I'm from a different bureau. You've been working in that bureau 6, 7, 8 years. You take that exam, and you're in the top 3. Who should get that job? Me as an outsider, even though I've worked for the city. You're working in that same department. You're a good employee. You can take over that new job with a minimum of training or anything, because this is what you've been doing and you're a part of. You know the whole operation. I'm coming from an entirely different organization, like a stranger, and there's got to be a training period for me. That isn't necessarily for you.
Yeah.
Who should get that job? Now, if you give it to me, you know there's going to be hard feelings.
Yeah.
There's going to be hard feelings the first day I walk into that new job. Let's just say I make it. There's going to be just bad feelings toward me from everybody working there until they would adjust to me and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my chances of moving into a different bureau, into a better paying job, are very slight. And for areas that might open up within my own bureau, I don't have the qualifications for that particular job. Anyhow, bunch of guys I knew, or knew of, a couple I knew pretty close, were working at the Ford shop.
Mm-hmm.
And they were making a hell of a lot more money than me. And they were doing physical work that didn't take a whole lot of brains. And I did some of that work through the years. I thought, I'm going to quit. And knowing that you had a good background, the company didn't lay off for 4 or 5 years, you never had a layoff. I went and made application. And the superintendent that interviewed me said, first of all, why would you want to come and work here? He said, you got 5 weeks vacation. You got a steady job. You're 39 years old. Why would you want to work here? I said, because you pay more money. And I said, I'll be a good employee. A week went by, 2 weeks went by. And I hear from the guys that I knew who worked there, they're hiring. And it's a union shop. Now, for every guy that they hire ahead of me, that means I'm one spot lower in the seniority.
Yep.
And in a union shop, seniority is everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back. And I said, is there any reason you're not hiring me?
That's bold.
I said, you've hired all these younger guys. He said, I can't believe that you would want to quit your job and come and work here. I says, well, believe me.
Yeah, you interviewed.
I
Why
said,
would you
I
not
wouldn't
be
be back here if I didn't want a job here.
Exactly.
And I said, you hire me, I'll start tomorrow. I said, but if I have a choice, I would like to give 2 weeks' notice to my employer. Even though now I'm going to go lower in the seniority. Okay, he'll hire me. So I give my 2 weeks' notice and I start there. Cold out, beginning of March. And I'm hitching steel. He put me on days because he says you'll fit in better on days because of your age. You won't have to work with all the young guys we got on second shift. And I fit right in. I had done that years ago. I'd done that on part-time jobs. So with a minimum of fitting in and learning their organ, it was hard work. I suffered for the first couple of weeks. I come home, my ass is dragging. We worked every minute we were there. And we worked outside. Well, I did. Not inside in the heat, outside in the cold, the rain, snow, until I got to later inside. And got on production.
What were you making? What were you producing?
We made forgings.
I don't know what that is. Is that a tool?
Forging is a piece of steel that's forged. You take a solid piece of steel, you put it in a furnace, 1650 degrees,
Ugh.
till it's red hot. You bring it out, you put it in a hammer and you pound it. And you're pounding it in a die. And you take that solid piece of metal and you form it. Say I want to make this plate out of that solid piece. I pound it down until that metal fills in and forms out this plate.
Oh, okay.
Now later this gets heat treated to make it hard and machinable and everything. Gets sent to whoever ordered it, to the machine shop that ordered it or the company, and it gets machined. It gets made into whatever part. Maybe it might be made into a gear. And they're going to cut all gear teeth in it and everything else.
Okay.
But you make it for different purposes. But
Gotcha.
that's one of the things. It's hot. Well, now the other thing for me is I could take the heat. And then I did things there that if I had a couple minutes where I could take a break, if I was hitching, I found something else to do. And I did it. And they all took notice of all that shit. Well, and then it says, because I had that experience of having worked at Alice Chalmers and doing some timekeeping and cost accounting. When that opened up, they offered me the position.
Yay.
And that was the beginning.
Well, and I work in a union place now, and when I'm non-union, so when I see all of the union people not stepping up and not filling in the gaps, it's so disappointing. Because, like, that's why they're there. I fill in the gaps for them, and I get paid so much less. So I'm sure when your supers saw that, they were like, finally, someone who does his job.
But I saw stuff there, and then in between I would jump in a railroad car. And I'd hitch up buckets of scrap and dump buckets of scrap. And that didn't have to be done until later by bringing in some extra guys to do it. Instead of standing around, if I had a couple of minutes, I did that.
Nice.
I did all kinds of stuff. And I never thought nothing of it. But they thought that was like I'm doing something special. And one thing led to another. But then I was able to understand how you identified your steel. That in industry, not only in the forging industry, anywhere, you make a product, you are liable by law to use the material that you said you're using for that.
Mm-hmm.
You go all the way back, 10 years from now, somebody gets killed because of some breakdown.
Yep.
And they can track that breakdown to a piece of equipment that you used the wrong steel for this part. And we paid you for it, and we machined it, and we put it in this machine. You are liable 10 years from now for that. You say you're going to use this, and there's all different types of steel. And all different, if we say we use a piece of steel from this bar of steel that came from a certain heat from the steel mill, we got a number for that. And we tell you this is what we're using, this is what we use. We as small as Milwaukee Forge was, we stored more steel in our yard than any place in the whole Midwest. We had 30 million pounds of steel piled in our yard at all times, of all different sizes and grades. And I knew where every bar was. I knew where every heat was. I was in charge of applying that steel to the jobs, keeping the records of all that steel. And I had all the non-productive employees were under my charge. The crane operators, the shear operators, the hitchers, the yard workers, all that shit.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have two more things I want to ask about. And we were talking about going to the library earlier and how you would find stuff for Cub Scouts. So I remember when I started getting interested in libraries, you were talking about going to the library to find out how to build this house that we're in right now and making sure the contractors were doing their job right. So how did you decide that you wanted to get this plot of land for this house?
I didn't.
So then how did we get here?
We got this. I was hit by a drunken woman. My car was demolished.
What?
And I ended up after not being able to go to work. First of all, taking treatments by chiropractors and all that, and nothing helping. I was almost like crippled up. I couldn't walk. My back was killing me. And I went to see some orthopedics. They happened to be the orthopedics in time that were on the payroll for the Milwaukee Braves baseball team.
Yeah. So
And
wait, which year is this now? Are we still in the 70s?
the early 60s.
Okay, so we're going back. Anyway.
Maybe 62, 63, something around there.
Okay.
Maybe earlier. And I can't get an appointment to see anybody, orthopedics, for weeks. Their name was Brewer and Schmidt. I remember that. And I said to Jeannie, I'm going. They were located in the new Bockel building on 20th and Wisconsin. And I called them on the phone for an appointment, and they said, no, they're so busy, they're not even taking appointments to see anybody for weeks.
Ugh.
I said, you got to see me. He says, we can't. I went there in the car, parked my car, went in their office, told them who I was, and they told me the same thing. And I said, I'm going to sit here until somebody sees me. And I was there like about 10:30 in the morning. It's getting close to 5 o'clock. I'm still sitting in their office. Mm-hmm. I'm the only one sitting there. Finally, they must have just gave up and they were ready to go home. Somebody sticks their head out of the door and says I should come in.
Finally. Okay.
So I got to see one of them. I don't know if it was Brewer or Schmidt anymore. And gave me a fast exam. And they said, okay, go home, pack yourself some clothes, your toothbrush, your shaving gear. Tell your wife you'll be gone for a while. And we'll see you at, this was at Deaconess Hospital. Mm-hmm. We'll see you at Deaconess Hospital in 2 hours. So I went home and I said to Jeannie, I'm going to the hospital. So I was in the hospital for 2 weeks. No, it's 3 weeks.
Could anyone visit?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Well, and I was put in traction. So for 2 weeks I never left the bed. And they got me laying in the bed, and they just didn't invent. They come up with a new system for stretching you in traction. The old way used to be you hung your feet out like this in the air, and they had you hanging with weights from your ankles. And they had your legs held up in the air, and the weights hanging down, pulling on your ankles. And that's what stretched out your whole lower back and your legs. Well, they came up with a new system. Instead of stretching you by the ankles, they come up with a unit that hooked around your hips and then pulled you out from your hips and pulled you down. Wow. You were in a lot less pain, but you could never get out of bed.
So you just had to sit like that for 2 weeks?
2 weeks you laid in the bed. Oh. And when they come to make your bed every day, 3 nurses would come, they'd roll you over, make half the bed, roll you over, make the other half, lay you back down, and you laid there.
Wow.
Well, it worked. Well, anyhow, after 2 weeks in traction, they put me in a plaster Paris cast. And they said, we'll leave you enough room for a bottle of beer. And they took me in a room, 2 of them, I'll never forget that. They had a bar hanging up above, and they hooked me up, and they stretched me So just my tiptoes were touching. And they worked as fast as they could, and they put me in a big plaster Paris cast. My whole body, from here all the way down. Past the cheeks of your end, they had like tails, like if you were wearing a tailored suit.
This sounds like a medieval torture device.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I stayed like that. Let me think, how long now? About 3 months. Not quite, 2 months. In that plaster of Paris cast.
Wow.
I was able to go home.
Yeah, but you couldn't go to work.
No, I couldn't work. I couldn't do nothing.
So
I'm in that plaster of Paris cast.
Yeah. Did you have paid leave or were you just off of work?
I used up all my sick leave.
Oh.
All right? And so for 90 days, I got paid.
Okay.
But now all my sick leave was used up. So I didn't have no money coming in. Well, now I'm in that plaster of Paris cast. And then they said, okay, they're going to cut it open. So I went to a place, trying to think where that was now. It was the other side of Viaduct, but not far.
Oh, like West Milwaukee?
No, further than that. And going north.
Oh.
Uh,
Not well.
and they cut the cast open. I thought, geez, I didn't know that it would cut that whole plaster of Paris, but it wouldn't cut you. If you put it against you, it would stop. So they sliced me open.
Did it smell awful?
No.
Oh, that's good.
And then they spread it apart. And they put straps on it. Straps and buckles. 3 of them.
Huh.
So when I went to bed at night, I could unbuckle it. But all day when I was up, I had to have it strapped. Well, then, eventually they took me out of the cast. I'm able to get around pretty good, but I couldn't go to work yet. And the insurance company is putting pressure to get the case settled. And I said, I'll tell you when I'm ready to settle. Baseball season's coming up. I'm exercising at home. I'm at home. I'm exercising all day at different times, getting in shape. And I'm looking out the window and they're parked across the street. Here's the car. The insurance company's got a guy checking on me, see if I'm going to be doing anything where they could get me for lying. And I went to try out for a baseball team. And I said, if I can get a hit and I can round first base heading for second and go sliding in and bounce up and not have any pain, then we'll settle my case. Then I'll tell you that I'm good.
Yeah?
And that's exactly what happened. Then we settled. Oh, by the time, maybe I had the wrong attorney. By the time everybody took out their expenses, and I went and talked to the city and offered to pay them back the money that they paid me while I was off. That 90 days, you give me my sick leave days back, I'll give you your money back.
Ooh.
And they agreed to that. And they signed it, to make it official.
Yep.
So I paid them back their 90 days of pay. I got my sick leave back. Anyhow, by the time we got done, I forgot what I got. $2,200 or something. That's all.
Well, I want to put that in the inflation calculator to see how much money that is today, too.
Yeah, that ain't nothing.
Okay.
Then get rid of that.
So you got your $2,200.
Yeah.
And then what?
Well, we settled the case. I went back to work. And then I bought Jeannie. It was Easter time was coming, or whatever. I saw a real nice dress in a window at the Grand that was on Mitchell Street. She didn't want it. I said, "You're going to buy you that dress." Real beautiful blue dress. Spent some money to buy her that dress. Bought a camera and had like $1,700 left over.
Yeah, and I just calculated it. $2,200 back then would be about $23,000 today. So that's barely anything.
Yeah. So then my mother called me and said they were interested in buying a piece of property that they saw for sale in the paper. That was this property.
Oh.
That was from the corner. There was no ditch or nothing here or watershed. This was just open land. From the corner to there would have been a house here yet.
Okay.
So 5 houses down to the corner.
So like Kimberly to the next 5 this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, Kimberly, right now it's to the next 5, yeah. There would have been room for 6 lots here.
Gotcha.
At the time, this was called Sunnyview Subdivision. That was from the corner there to 37th Street, straight down to Ramsey, to 35th, and back this way. That was all developed except this corner. And this was open field. And that house down here near Mangold, that was the only house that was built here at the time. She had 2 horses.
Your mother did?
No,
Oh.
the woman that owned that property.
Oh, okay.
And she had them 2 horses, used to use this as a pasture. Well, anyhow, I came to look at it, at the land, as an investment. They wanted $3,200 but none of it was developed. And we bought it as an investment.
So
I paid $1,600,
Oh, okay.
and my folks paid $1,600.
I was wondering how that shook
And,
out.
and that's how I got the $1,600.
That's pretty convenient. Nice. That's like really perfect timing. Right?
What?
Isn't that perfect timing?
Well, yeah. Well, we had it for years, and it was a big headache getting this all developed into a buildable site.
Because of all of the horse shit that was
No,
left
no,
behind, or
no,
just-
no. The horse had nothing to do with it.
All right.
There was no road going through here. The
Oh.
road only went to here, and the road only went back there to the corner.
Like to college?
No, to whatever that street is this way.
Mango.
Mangold. Okay.
Yeah. And I fought I'd get an attorney, and I'd go to meetings, and I fought with the city for years to get, every time I thought we had it developed to what we met their requirements to have this as a buildable site, they come up with something else.
Was that the city of Greenfield or Milwaukee?
Greenfield.
Of course.
And then they wanted me to open, pave, and construct a road. And I said, you think I'm crazy? I said, right across the way, none of that was developed. And that was owned by a developer. And they said, well, you go and do it, and when it's done, we'll reimburse you our share. I said, I'm not that dumb. So then I had to go and fight them with the state. Well, anyhow, we got it all settled. And when it was all settled, and then they decided they're going to put a watershed through here. So then I had to give them what would have been one whole lot. I had to give them that to build a watershed. Well, I didn't get nothing for that.
Of course.
Because as soon as you were going to have 5 lots or more, first of all, that officially made you a subdivision.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, as a subdivision, they got you. They can make you give up all kinds of stuff and not reimburse you for anything. They can take that land from you because we want it for development. We wanted this, we want that. So I had to fight them some more. Well, when we all got done, now a lot of years went by, and now my mother wanted to move and build a house.
Where was she living that she wanted to move out of?
They were way out in Franklin someplace.
Oh.
And they were going to build a new Holstein. I said, you should be, I know you've been patient for a long time, and I'm the one who was handling everything. Taking off from work, going to meetings at night, getting the attorney, all that stuff. I said, if you wait, you're going to get a lot more money. I said, because now this woman that owned this land across the way, she sold it. And they're going to develop it. Now they got lots there they're selling for $22,000. And they're selling them as fast as they're developing them.
Mm-hmm.
We got lots here that are bigger than any of their lots. And right now, they're asking $10,000.
So 22,000 in 1966 would be worth like $217,000
Yeah,
today.
well,
Just for the lot?
we sold these lots for $10,000.
And what year was that again?
Oh shit! That was in '66.
Okay.
This was 19 when we sold. Wait a minute. Yeah, we sold a lot. Yeah, it was later than that. We moved here in 1978.
Oh.
This was about 1976 or 77 when we sold these lots.
So then they would have been right around $57,000 today. All right.
How much?
Right around $57,000 today.
No, you won't touch these lots for 57 today.
Exactly. Like what the price you sold them at was pretty good for the time.
Well, we sold them for 10,000.
Yeah.
And these lots weren't any near as big, and they were selling them for 22,000. But my mother wanted them. I said, all right, you can't just sell 2 or 3 of them. We gave it to a broker to sell. And then I got a hold of the broker, And I said, I don't know if I want to keep a lot or not. But I said, when you got one lot left, you get a hold of me. And you give me the right to keep that last lot. Or I'll tell you to sell it one way or another.
Okay. Like 15 more.
And then I decided to keep the lot.
And that's what became this house, right?
Yeah, then we had a house built here.
So what is your favorite part of this house? Like architecturally, is it the intercom? Is
I
it
don't
the
know.
laundry
No,
chute?
I can't tell you. We had all kinds of. This is a house, and there's never been another house built like this.
I know.
This house was built. Walter Brothers, when we turned these lots over to the broker, the broker said, okay, what he sells them for is his business. What we get is $10,000 for each lot that he sells.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, he also had arrangements made with a builder. So, if you bought one of these lots, your home was going to be built by Walter Brothers Builders.
Oh.
And Walter Brothers, that was a reputable builder, built good homes for the money, and he built several types of homes. He built all these homes. The next 4 homes going down are Walter Brother homes. So you see single family, ranch homes, you see 2-family homes, and you see our home.
Yeah.
Well, I talked to him, and I says, I don't want your, what the hell you call these homes?
Ranch homes?
No, this is not a ranch home. This is
Single family?
no, this is a 2-story, Jesus.
70s palace?
No, it'll come to me. I said, I want more than what you're building. I said,
Okay, Sharpay High School Musical.
and I told him basically what I wanted. Well, then he had to go, and he said, first of all, I don't know if we're going to do that. He says, I'll talk to his brother, the partner, and they got to talk to the architects, see what they can come up with. I told him basically what I wanted. I didn't tell him how to design it or anything. And he come up with this design. And he says, this is more home than we want to build. He said, but we'll do it.
Wow.
And they built it.
So did you have to pay them more for the extra home? Or like, so because they designed it just for
Oh,
your
no,
family?
no, no. I paid them more than what they paid for their other home.
Do you remember what you paid them?
Yeah. I paid, like the home next door, they built that home for, if I'm not mistaken, it was like $27,000 or $28,000.
Okay.
When I got done with this home, total cost me $57,000.
And that was in 1979? 77. Okay. I gotta see what the numbers are today. I'm curious. And you said 57,000.
Yeah.
That would be $302,000 today.
Well, the home is valued more than that.
Oh, for
Well,
sure.
don't forget I did a lot more than that than just build a home.
Yeah.
Well, then I had all kinds of extras put in. I had that system. Geez, I can't tell you all the extras I put in, or I would have got it built for less. Oh, and then I spent extra money, like paid extra money to get this
The light fixture.
that light fixture. Paid extra money to get the chandelier in there.
Yeah.
Paid extra money for that new nick in by the door.
Yeah.
Put in a radio system. Put in all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
That went extra.
Yeah. And you can tell, I feel like this house, you can absolutely look around and realize, oh, that was for this big family, and this feature was because people would want to swim in the pool, and like you made it somewhere that people want to be.
Well, at the time I wasn't thinking about a pool
Oh, yeah.
when we had the house built. Anyhow, that's how we ended up here.
Nice. Okay, well, I'm going to pivot into being a grandparent, and then I have one more silly question, and then I think we're done, because I'm kind of hungry.
Yeah.
So, how did it feel when you became a grandparent?
I can't tell you. I can't describe that. I think like all grandparents, it's a thrill. One of your own kids is having a family.
Mm-hmm.
You're hoping that whether it's a boy or girl, you don't really care. Just that they're going to be healthy. And fortunately, that's always turned out that way.
Yeah. Okay, so then what is your best parenting and grandparenting advice? One piece of advice.
I don't know. I think you have to be in control. But at the same time, you have to recognize the talents, individual talents of your kids. Can't be overly strict,
Mm-hmm.
but you gotta make them, or at least try to get them to be good individuals.
Yeah. It seems like you did a pretty good job with that too.
Well, hopefully.
I remember you humming songs a lot and singing songs when I was younger. So, what's the song you get stuck in your head the most?
The what?
The song that you get stuck in your head the most.
Today, I really can't tell you because it probably was an older song from a different time.
Yeah. Oh, there was one you used to do for Caitlin that was like something with Dolly. I don't remember what was that song.
For Caitlin.
Yeah. It was so catchy.
That was from kindergarten. We used to sit at the round table with the teacher, sing a little song. She'd sing along with us. Or we were getting ready to take a nap, and we'd have a cup of milk, not a cup of milk, a little carton of milk,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe a graham cracker. I have a dear little dolly, and her eyes are bright blue. She can open and close them, and she smiles at me too. That was from kindergarten.
Oh, well, and then there's the Beans song too. The beans, the magical fruits. One more.
That's different. Beans, the magical fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot.
And then what? There's more.
No.
I thought it was the more you eat, the more you toot.
No.
The more you fart, the better you feel. Eat your beans with every meal.
No. That part I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I used to kid him with this friend of mine from Boston. You say, what do you do on a Friday night in Boston? Or Saturday night in Boston? Go to Scully Square. Go to the tavern. Drink beer. Eat beans. Laugh or fart and laugh about it.
Wow, I'm sure that bar smelled really good. Oh, have you heard the Charlie on the MTA song about going to Scully Square and getting lost in the subways forever?
No.
Oh, my friend Piper and I just sang that at a concert because that's how it feels to take public transit. You just get lost in there forever and then everyone's farting and it smells so bad and you don't know when you're going to get home. But yeah, my very last question. What are some mottos that you've lived by?
I don't know what I live by any motto, except first of all, I'm patriotic. I believe in my country. You say motto, do your best, right?
Yeah. It seems like you
You
always
know, that's a motto of the Boy Scouts, right?
Yeah.
Do your best.
And it seems like you always believe that other people try their best, or they should.
Well, they should, right?
Any last things for the microphone?
No,
Okay.
you got me talking too much.
I know, it's been 2 hours and 22 minutes, so thank you for sitting with me for so long. I really appreciate this.
Give them something to eat.
Dinner time.